Hello once again. Welcome to Tech tutorial. Today we're going to continue with what we did the other time, the previous tutorial on how to create database. Today we're going to learn how to create database tables for our database that we created. As we discussed the other time, we have two sessions. That is the user interface, and then we have the query side. Okay, so now let's try to do something about the creating of our tables. If you are new here, please try to watch the previous tutorial so that you can catch up with what we are doing now. Okay, so now let's go to our database. Then we expand the database and we go to tables. You right click on the table, then you select new table. A new window will appear and you provide the name for the database and the data type. Okay, so now we are trying to create a table for customer. Okay, so now we need details of the customer. What do we need? We need the customer ID so that we can make references or we can search for every customer. Okay, so now let's say customer ID, or we can make it short CID. But then I would choose CID. You can try to come out with your own column name. So I will choose CID for this tutorial. CID. Then we give a data type. Data type, we are going to say integer. So it means we're going to accept only integers for our column. Okay, so now we're going to make this a primary key. Then we right click on this arrow here. Then we select set primary key. Then you set the primary key. Okay, now we go to the next column. We get the customer name. So let's say customer name. I prefer cutting it short like this and cast name. You can write the full name like customer name. Any name you prefer, you can do it. And so for this tutorial, let's choose cast name. Okay, now let's give a data type for it. Let's see one car. Then we specify the number of characters we want to accept. Let's say maximum of 250 characters. Okay, so let's try to get the address of the customer. Let's see address of the customer. Then we give a data type to it. Let's see varchar. For the address, you can set it to 250 characters. Okay, so now let's go to next column and let's see the gender of the customer. We need the gender of the customer. Then let's select the data type. Let's say varchar. Then we set it to 6. We want the characters to be 6 because when we look at the spellings of the male and the female, you could see that the female contains 6 characters, the male contains 4 characters. So maximum, let's say 6 characters. Okay, so 6 characters. Then let's get date of birth. We assume we want the date of birth of each customer. You can choose to add more. And then for this tutorial, we want to accept the date of birth of each customer. So let's say date of birth. Okay, then we select the data type for it. Let's say date. Okay, now this checkbox are checked because we can allow the user not to provide anything there. But for this, we're not going to check it because we need every customer ID for reference. Okay, so you can choose to uncheck it. You're going to choose what is good for your database. Okay, now we are going to accept now. Let's see, the user can leave that place blank. Okay, let's continue with this. Now we are done creating it in the table. We're now about to save it. So you click on the save button here, and then you give the table a name. Let's say I'm creating it for customers. Let the customers information. So let's say customers information. Customer. Let's say customer info. Okay. Let's say customer info. You can give any name to that particular table. But then for this tutorial, we are choosing customer info. So then you say okay, then it's saved. Let's try to open it, and you see we can see it there, like customer info. See, customer info. Now let's go to the query side and try to create database for the query. Okay, so let's go to name, then we click on the new query. The window will appear like this. So then we select the database we are using. So now we can go on and create our table. So let's write the query. That's the code for creating the table. Let's say create table. Then we specify the table name. Which table name do we want to give to our table? Okay, so now let's say customer. Let's say customer info, as we did for the user interface section. Let's choose the same name here. So you say customer info, then we open a bracket for it to accept the columns. So let's say let's use CID for the ID for the customer ID. What it means is CID. Okay, so now let's say CID. Then we specify the data type for the customer ID. We have chosen the integer data type. So let's say int for integer. Then with this, we don't have to specify the number of characters we want for this particular studio or this particular language. We don't have to provide the number of characters we want. Okay, so let's continue with this, and let's set it to primary key. Let's make this column a primary key. Okay, so let's say primary key. That is the primary key constraint. Okay, then we separate this column with a comma. Then go to the next line. Let's say customer, let's say cast name, meaning customer name. Then we give data type for the customer name. Let's choose varchar, and let's set the number of characters to be 250 as we did for the user interface. And then you can choose to accept now or not, but for that one it shows now. Okay, it means the system is going to allow empty field or empty column. Okay, but then let's try to do something different and see the difference between the not now and then allowing now. So let's assume we don't want to allow now, so let's say not now, meaning the user has to provide something there. So let's try to get another column for our table. Let's say customer address, which is cast, or let's say cast address. Let's say cast address, meaning customer address. Let's accept varchar, and then for the address let's choose 250 as we did for the user interface. Let's say 250, and then we don't want to accept now, so let's say not now. Then we separate it with a comma, and then we get the gender of the customer. So let's say gender, and let's give a data type for it. Let's say varchar, and then let's specify the number of characters we want to accept. Let's say that for this let's choose 6 for the number of characters, as in maximum of 6 characters. Okay, so let's say 6, and then we don't want to accept now, so let's say not now. Okay, now let's move on to the next column and say date of birth. Let's use dates as the data type, and we are not going to accept now as well, so let's say not now. Okay, you can add more characters. It depends on what your customer or the user wants. But then for this tutorial we are going to accept, or we are going to use only these columns for our tutorial. So let's move on by closing the brackets here. So you see, we open the bracket and we have to close it, then we terminate it here. Well, after that we try to run the query. So you click on the execute button, then a message will come like completed successfully. This means we are done with the creation of our database and the codes are correct. So now let's try to refresh the table and then see what we've done so far. So now let's expand this database and then expand the table too. Now we can see our table is being created here, and we are done for creation of database with a query. Okay, now Thank you for watching this tutorial. And as we said, if you're new here, try to subscribe to this channel, like it, and you share it. Thank you.